until he rode right past his wife, Lily Martel, and all the smiles died, and he lay a crown of winter roses in Lyanna's lap, blue as frost.
Yes, he chose her. And then he kidnapped her and raped her.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another Game of Thrones Season 8 theory video. And with the news that Rhaegar Targaryen may return in Game of Thrones Season 8, we're all wondering what kind of flashback this could be. Obviously, this has to be a brand flashback, but what the hell do we need to see Rhaegar again for? We basically already have all the information we need about Rhaegar and Lyanna being married and Jon Snow being the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne, but we could see a major event in the past that Rhaegar attended and could introduce us to the Owl of Faces. Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome back to Smokescreen, and before I get started, please be sure to subscribe to get everything. So bear with me here. What I'm saying here is we don't really need to see anything else between Rhaegar and Lyanna. We already basically know the full story. There's no more information there that could really move the story forward to our endgame. We already know, like I mentioned before, that Rhaegar and Lyanna were in love, that Rhaegar did not kidnap Lyanna, and that she went with Rhaegar on her own accord and eventually had the metaphorical Lightbringer, Jon Snow. What will Bran have to go back in the past to see? I think it has to do with the endgame, and one possibility I thought about could be that we see the tourney of Harrenhal. Now again, the tourney of Harrenhal, for a little background, is a major event in the history, especially in the books, and this is where essentially Rhaegar met Lyanna Stark. This is where Jaime Lannister, for example, became a Knight of the Kingsguard. This is where the mysterious Knight of the Laughing Tree took part in the tournament as well to defend a Crannogman, and that Crannogman happened to be named Hallan Reed. We don't necessarily need to see the tourney itself, although that would be cool to see Rhaegar crown Lyanna with the winter roses in front of everybody, as Littlefinger said in the show, the day all the smiles died, which eventually would lead to Robert's Rebellion, although not the direct cause. But the point here is, Hallan Reed was at the tourney of Harrenhal. Now, it's not important that he was at the tourney himself necessarily, he just happened to go there because he was on his way back from the Isle of Faces, at the God's Eye, where I think this whole damn thing is going to end. So basically, Hallan Reed showed up at the tourney of Harrenhal and got his ass beat by a bunch of squires, because Hallan Reed, being a small Crannogman, is not your typical knight, he's not your typical jouster and sword fighter and that type of thing. So it seemed that he got bullied a little bit, and that's where the Knight of the Laughing Tree story comes in, where this mysterious knight with mismatched armor came in and defended and defeated those three squires' lords in the actual tourney itself, and that knight is very likely Lyanna Stark herself. So then after this happened, the Mad King Aerys, who did actually attend for the first time in a long time, he showed his face in public, he sent people along with Rhaegar Targaryen to find out who this Knight of the Laughing Tree was, because he was paranoid it was some enemy of his, and that's likely when Rhaegar actually met Lyanna Stark. Because although that would be cool to see, it wouldn't really move the story forward. We don't really need to know exactly how they met. We don't even really need full confirmation that Lyanna was the Knight of the Laughing Tree, but I think this could be a good introduction to the Owl of Faces, because Hallan Reed had just come from the Owl of Faces, and it would simply take a 5-minute flashback scene in Game of Thrones Season 8 where Bran goes back and sees the tourney and maybe sees Hallan Reed interacting with Lyanna Stark at some point, and him mentioning coming from the Owl of Faces, the Order of the Green Men, and the God's Eye Lake itself, and what the hell he had been doing there, and what does it mean when he goes there to study with the Order of the Green Men. So this could be a good introduction to the Owl of Faces, and give Bran the idea to go back and check out the Owl of Faces, because Hallan Reed thinks it's such an important place. And again, if you're new here to Smokescreen and you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, I have a separate video that I'll link in the description below on how this thing's going to end, and I think it's got to do with the Owl of Faces at the God's Eye. So anyway guys, let me know what you think. Why do you think we need to see Rhaegar Targaryen again in Game of Thrones Season 8? Because we seemingly have all the information we need to know that he was not an asshole, and he did not kidnap Lyanna. She left with him on her own accord, and actually loved Rhaegar and married him. Therefore, Jon Snow is the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and as usual, thank you for all the support, especially to you guys on Patreon, and a huge shout out to my executive Patreon Smokescreen producers, Lala, Marylin, Bentley, Colton, Goska, HoonJive, Horton, Erin, Habig, John, Carey, Anastasia, Jason Landers, DTizSmith, MJW, Carole Brown, D Brown, Mike Colton, Lisa Phillips, Alfred Borstmayer, Rob Greene, and Ricky Corotte. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate the support. And to everyone on Patreon, and thank you to everyone out there on YouTube as well. And if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like and a share. And as usual, be sure to subscribe to get everything, and be sure to click that notification bell so you're notified when I drop a new video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.